I was born Isabel Ardent in the city of Ravenhurst. When I turned 14, I studied and learned alchemy. Our home was a cramped timber and stone affair in a village, where fog coiled through iron fences like a living thing, and the river whispered secrets to anyone who would listen. I had two brothers, Edmund and Silas, younger by 4 and 6 years, boys with quick tempers and faster hands. My mother, a quiet woman with eyes that always seemed to be weighing sin and mercy in equal measure, worked as a seamstress. My father, a fisherman, smelled always of salt and smoke and returned home from the docks with stories that made the city feel larger than it was.
I remember the small moments, the way sunlight struck the stone in our courtyard. In the morning, the smell of rain on the river, the softness of my mother's hands when she braided my hair.
My brothers fought over who got the warmest spot by the hearth, and I would stand back, laughing softly, hiding the tiny jealousy I felt for their ease with the world. From the moment I could walk Ravenhurst's iron streets, I was aware of the city's cruelty. A man might curse a child for stepping on his doorstep. A neighbor might claim witchery for a misshapen apple in her garden. I learned quickly that kindness was a thing to be hidden, and observation was survival. By the time I was 12, I had taken to helping Madame Gilead, the herbalist in our district. I gathered lavender, sage, feverfew, and willow bark from the edges of the city, carrying small pouches that smelled of sunlight and earth. Madame Gilead was a gentle woman with crooked teeth and eyes like wet stone. She taught me not only the healing properties of herbs, but the patience to see a creature, human or otherwise, through pain. The world will burn, she said once, but it will never burn your heart if you tend it carefully. I loved tending to the sick in secret. I held fevered hands that shivered with the terror of fever, whispered words to frightened children who had no parents left to comfort them, and listened to the dying curse a city that thought itself holy. Even then, I understood something no sermon could teach. Mercy was never popular.
My brothers did not understand my choices. They call me soft, afraid, naive, but I was neither. I had learned early that the city had teeth, and those teeth were hungry for more than blood. I had also learned that I had to feed a quiet hunger inside me with small acts of compassion, because the world would not offer them to me. I remember the night it snowed while the river froze over. I was 13, walking home from Madame Gilead's house with a basket of herbs. The fog hung so thick I could barely see my hands in front of my face, and yet I felt seen. I had no words for it then, only the sense that something watched from the shadows. Curious, patient, silent, I shivered and turned home, clutching my basket like a shield. It was not fear. It was the first flicker of awareness that my life might not belong entirely to me.
She was the reason I survived. Ravenhurst long enough to matter. Madame Gilead. She was small, beautiful and full of love and compassion, with a nose like a bird and eyes the color of a beautiful ocean. Her hands were rough, stained from herbs and the occasional river fish she would use in salve. But she had patience that could still a screaming child or a fevered mother. She began to teach me when I was only 12 years old, apprenticing me not just in the preparation of poultices and teas, but in observing the world with care. A city such as this, she said once, stirring a mortar of crushed fever-few, feeds on fear if you contend the small things, the sick, the lost, the faint. You may yet leave it without taking more than you can bear. To gather herbs at dawn, long before the city stirred fully sage, lavender, thyme, feverfew, willow bark, plants that could soothe pain or slow the inevitable. I delivered them quietly to those who needed them most. A widow too weak to make the journey to Madame Gilead, a child with fever hidden under a thin blanket, a laboring mother without midwife or comfort. These acts were small, often unnoticed, but they mattered more than I understood at the time. I remember the man who stumbled from the tavern one night too drunk to stand. I guided him to a bench, gave him water and wrapped him in a spare cloak. In return, he spat on my dress and muttered curses at the witch girl meddling where she should not. I did not fight him, I held his hand briefly until he slept, and left him in the care of the city's warmth, or such warmth as the city allowed. There was also the small girl in the northern quarter whose mother had died of fever. The child was pale, trembling, too afraid to eat. I baked bread in the morning, carrying the crusts and softest parts to her hidden doorway. She never knew my name, but I knew hers. I stayed long enough to teach her to stir water for tea without spilling it, to keep a fire going in winter, and then left before her neighbors noticed me. I learned that kindness was quiet, invisible dangers, if noticed by the wrong eyes. Yet I could not stop, it was part of me, as much as my curiosity, as much as my fear. Madame Gilead became my anchor. She never scolded me for wandering the foggy streets or for speaking to the dying in ways others would have called unnatural. She taught me how to mix tinctures and salves, but also how to listen. Not just hear, but truly listen to the rhythm of a human body. The tone of a voice, the panic behind a child's tears. Her stories were sometimes frightening. She spoke of plagued ships abandoned at the docks, of children found in the river, of strangers who arrived with smiles too calm and eyes too deep. Some things in this city, she warned, are older than reason and hunger for what you carry in your heart. Be mindful, be vigilant, but do not lose your mercy. I learned discipline under her hand, patience under her watch, and courage in small, careful doses. She prepared me for the world in a way my family could not, because my family loved me. Madame Gilead saved me, because she had no choice but to recognize that I was meant for more. By the time I was 14, I had become both shadow and light. I could walk the alleys of Ravenhurst without drawing notice. I could soothe fevered children and ease the pain of the poor, all while keeping my family safe from the city's suspicion. I had a sense of my place, not fully confident, never arrogant, but aware that my actions, however small, mattered. Even then, sometimes in the deepest fog, I felt it. Something in the shadows was watching, waiting, patient, silent, curious. I could not know what it was, but it was the first whisper of a darkness that would demand everything of me. The fog had grown heavier by the time I returned home that evening, coiling like a living thing through the narrow streets of Ravenhurst. Lanterns flickered weakly, and the river whispered against the docks with a voice older than the city. I clutched my basket tighter, thinking of my mother's gentle hands, my father's stories, and the warmth of my brother's laughter. It was comfort I did not realize I would soon lose. As I neared our quarter, I saw a crowd gathered near the northern gate. The air was thick with smoke from small fires, torches swaying in the hands of anxious men. Their faces were hard, eyes bright with fear and something older.
rage. I pushed forward cautiously. My heart froze when I saw the cause. A woman bound and screaming, her clothes scorched, her hair singed by flames. Children wept at the edges, mothers clutched infants. Fathers stood too afraid to intervene. She's a witch. Someone spat, a witch who cursed the river, the crops, the city itself. I wanted to look away, I wanted to run, but I could not. My stomach clenched, the woman's cries were like a reflection of all I had seen in the sick, the dying, the poor. Fear and superstition had found flesh, and it screamed without mercy. I turned quickly, hoping no one would notice me. But in Ravenhurst, shadows do not hide those who linger too long. Back home, the quiet of our small house was shattered. My mother's face was pale, her lips pressed tightly together. My father's hand shook as he set the supper table. My brothers, usually loud and careless, were unusually silent. They burned the widow across the street. My mother whispered, for giving water to a sick child. I felt my chest tighten wide. I asked, though I already knew. The city demanded a scapegoat, and kindness was always the first to be condemned, because they needed fear. My father said softly, because mercy is weakness. I did not answer. I only thought of Madame Gilead, teaching me to care quietly, secretly, for those the city would condemn. And I realized, with a cold certainty, that no amount of secret kindness could keep the darkness from reaching out.
The next day, Silas fell ill, a sudden fever, pale skin, rattling breath. Madame Gilead said it was likely contaminated water, though in Ravenhurst no explanation could calm fear. Edmund was frantic, slapping the blankets, shaking him, demanding he rise. My mother wept softly, pressing her cheek to his. I did what I could, making teas and poultices, whispering old prayers I barely believed in. By nightfall, in a week's time, Silas's breaths had slowed, his little chest rattling with every attempt. We tried everything. I looked at my father, then my mother, and I already knew. I held his hand, murmuring comfort he could barely understand. He died before morning. My father buried him in a small grave at the edge of the family plot. Under a thin layer of frost, I watched as the dirt fell and pressed over him. And I felt a hollowness in my chest, a darkness I could not name. mother's wail haunted the walls for days. Edmund's rage simmered in silence, but I saw it burn behind his eyes. I did not cry, not fully, I tried not to. The city had begun to teach me that grief was a luxury and that mercy was a curse. Is this real? I thought to myself. I felt this weight in my throat drop to the center of my chest and then the pit of my stomach. I looked at Mother. She was on the floor, clutching her chest and covering her mouth. I felt the tears surface. I ran to the river's edge in my village. I looked at the reflection of myself in the ripples. I sat down and buried my face in my knees. I cried. I wouldn't let my younger brothers see it. I wanted them to see me strong. I taught them both how to read, how to write. I would care for my brothers. I loved them dearly. A voice spoke to me from behind. I quickly dried my eyes and put on a smile. It was Edmund. He walked down the hill to meet me. I looked at him, but my eyes, already wet, told him a different story. He sits down right beside me and picks up a small stick, dried and brittle. Dead leaves were scarce on the tips. He twirled it around with his fingers. There was a somber look in his eyes. He wanted to cry. There was a silence between us when I looked at him. I touched his face and then he looked back at me, and the tears flowed much like the river in front of us. I tightly brought him in with a tight embrace. I felt his pain and the shakiness in his sorrow. We sat there together until the sun started to set. I stood up and held out my hand. It's getting late. Let's go home. We walked together back to Mother and Father.
Weeks have passed, but time stands still. In Ravenhurst it bends to will. Not by sun nor church bells cry, but by who they choose to crucify. Fog grows thick on cobbled veins, river hums with borrowed pain. Shuttered windows spit my name, whispers feeding holy flame. They drag the bound through crooked lanes, rope at wrists and iron chains. Screams dissolve in ashen air. God is silent, no one cares. Still I walk with herbs in hand, fever few and trembling plans, trying to mend what they destroy. Mercy now a dangerous ploy. Eyes like knives upon my back, truths distorted, painted black. They say I dance with spirits in the night, that the devil walks beside my light, that every brew and whispered prayer is laced with curses in the air. If kindness makes me guilty here, then carve my name in smoke and fear. But I will not bow, I will not burn. Let Ravenhurst take its turn. It began the way it always does, a child gone missing, hushed because fear needs faces, needs a flame, needs a body it can blame. Livestock dying in the fields, fever no physician heals. Hands once begging at her door now pound like fists of holy war. She poisons well, she twists their minds, she leaves her wicked hexes behind. Madame Gilead, gentle wise, now where's the city's cruel disguise? I found her door half open wide, cold wind howling from inside, garden crushed by heavy tread, blueprints where the faithful bled. Smoke still curled from dying flame, charcoal scrawl that bore her name. By Reverend Thorn she stands for trial. God forgive their righteous bile. My hands began to shake and free. Her garden crushed beneath their knees. Mentor, mother, guiding star. How did mercy drift so far? 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 They say we whisper to the dead, that poison blooms where we have tread, that women who refuse to kneel are serpents cloaked in holy zeal. If healing hands must wear the chain, if innocence must bear their blame, then let them tremble when I rise. Let fire reflect in holy eyes. Fear pulled heavy in my chest, but something darker stirred unrest. Anger ancient, sharp and bright, a hunger waking in the night. They took my guide, they took my shield. Now Ravenhurst shall see revealed the cost of hunting gentle souls when mercy fractures into cold. You call us witches, call us damned, but fear is forged by trembling hands. And when your pyres kiss the sky, remember who you chose to crucify. I walked with herbs, I walked with grace. You turn suspicion into shade. No fog will carry what I learn, and Ravenhurst will burn. from her doorway, Martha shaking in the cold, steam still rising from the kettle where she fought the fever's hold. Her child cried from the threshold, small hands clawing at the air. But neighbors fed on whispers, said she cursed him with a prayer. Rope split into fragile wrists, mercy drowned in shouted lies. Two guards dragged her down the cobbles while suspicion filled their eyes. And I stood hidden in the shadows, breath caught tight inside my chest, watching goodness branded evil, watching innocence arrested. Every rumor needs a body, every fear demands a name. Ravenhurst, the truth is fragile, and accusation feeds the flame. False accusations, holy arrest, they call it justice, God knows best. But I see hunger in their eyes, not righteousness, just sanctified lies. Tie the rope and strike the drum of another overcome. They cleanse the streets with smoke and ash, while liars smile behind the mask up. Old Thomas at the millstone floor, dark from tainted grain. Boys with trembling superstition, pointed fingers cried his name. Devil's work, they shouted loud. Magistrate Dorn only smiled. Thin as winter, cold as iron, feeding fear to every child. Bound and marched for questioning, truth reduced to bruised confession. In the city, guilt is chosen before the start of any session. And somewhere in the gathering, a serpent dressed in velvet grey. Lilith Veyra watched it bloom in chaos, bending to her sway. She whispers once, and families fracture. She smiles sweet, and torches capture. Her hands remain unstained by flame, yet every scream repeats her name. False accusations, sacred decree, they baptize cruelty publicly. Point to the trembling, call them curse, convince the frightened they struck first. Light the pyres, stack them high, let the smoke rewrite the sky. They call it cleansing, call it pure, but fear is the only cure. I saw Merrick in the firelight, old apothecary, steady gaze. Flames crawled slow along his garments, smoke crowned him in a dying haze. He did not scream, he did not kneel, he would not bend to what was unreal. As fire kissed his weathered skin, the crowd grew restless, deep persists, even in death. The streets pulse fast with rumor's breath, each whisper sentencing to death. Children cry and merchants pray, torchlight turns the fog to gray. Every shadow looks like sin, every neighbor turning in. Reverend Thorn rides through the night, whip raised high in holy might. Ooh. Dorn extracts what he desires, confessions born of fists and wires. Lilith dances through it all, the unseen architect of the fallen die. I am learning. False accusations built this throne, a kingdom carved from broken bone. They think their terror makes them strong, but fear remembers every wrong. Chain the healer, burn the wise, silence screams with sacred lies. But from the smoke a vow is born, one day they will face the storm. We're Travis Fest in Ravenhurst, when blood has kissed the stone. They dragged us out to morning light, like trophies overthrown. The rope bit deep into my wrists, but I could barely feel the copper on my trembling hands, the memory too real. My brother's cry still splits the air. My father on the floor, and somewhere in the wreckage I am not a child anymore. They left the guards inside us. I heard the tin desk bar, a single flame, a breath of smoke, a promise in the dark. Phonically I heard them say, let the witch's house decay. Watch the line exhale fire, feed the crowd righteous desire. Glassly screaming shattered light, ashes sending into night. Everything I've ever known turned to smoke before the throne. My mother fell upon her knees, cried my father's name. They pulled her up like grief itself was something born of shame. They marched us through the thoroughfare like sin on open display. Reverend Thorn on horseback high to lead his holy pride. Magistrate with narrowed eyes, writing whispers down, turning rumor into rope and mercy into sky. But not all faces turned away. Some hands trembled low. A cross was signed not over him, but for the girl they know. Vertically I heard them cry. Let the smoke erase the light. Call it evil, call it sin. Dress your cruelty in discipline. Ashen ember fill my lungs. Truth dies loud on frightened tongues. They cheer while justice disappears, sanctified by all their fears. In the square the pyres still stand, blackened ribs of charred command. The scent of flesh still in the stone, a warning carved in bone. I turned, and there it fell. My home collapsed into itself, a final breath, a wooden shell. Sparks like dying stars took flight, swallowed by the waiting night. Everything reduced to flame before they even spoke my name. They all kill us, Mother said. Voice undone by dread. I watched the smoke refuse to fall, watched it twist above the saw. They have taken everything. My voice did not shake, because somewhere underneath the grief, beneath the horror, disbelief, something harder started forming. Not anger, not fear, something patient, something clear. Parade us through your trembling town, dress us up and tear us down. Call it judgment, call it right. You parade your twilight. You think you lead two souls to end, two broken women you can bend. But every step beneath your sun marches toward what you've begun. Ash remembers, smoke will speak, fire answers to the wind. You think this is our final breath, but you have only awakened death. They place me in the center square, where ash still stains the stone. The pyres stand like broken ribs of saints they overthrew. My lashes are torn, my shadow stretched in gray. heaven in a voice rehearsed and warm. He says I trafficked with the dark, that sickness followed near, but I only carried remedy to ease a dying ear. Confess, they say, and you'll be spared. Repent and you'll be saved. But mercy built on kneeling lives is nothing but a grave. This is the trial before the flame, where truth is shackled, dressed in shame. They've carved the verdict long before they drag me to the wooden floor. Call me witch, call me cursed, quench your thirst by naming first. But righteousness with bloodied hands is tyranny in holy lands. They bring the basket split in two, herbs scattered at my feet, as though the scent of chamomile were proof of dark deceit. They say I walked beside the river, spoke to shadows there. Yes, I walked where others wept and offered them a prayer. Madame Gilead's name is spoken like a sickness in the air, but wisdom frightens fragile men who rule through thin despair. Magistrate with ink-stained fingers writes my fate in lines, turning whispers into change, suspicion into signs. He leans in close and murmurs low, bow now, break your pride. But something in my shattered chest refuses still to hide. This is the trial before the flame, where God is used to mask the blame. They lift their crosses, lift their cries, while building pyres from borrowed lies. If healing hands must wear the robe, if charities extinguishes hope, then let the fire testify who truly lives the lie. Reverend, into my eyes, tell me where the devil lies. In fever soothed, in wounds made clean, in bread I brought to those unseen. Or does he sit upon your throne, carved from fear you've always known? You burn the gentle, chain the mild, and call it saving God's own child. Voices rise like hungry waves. They want repentance, not the brave. They want a girl who bows her head, not one who sees the rot they've bred. My mother trembling at my side, I feel her fear, I feel my pride. Not pride of ego, sharp and vain, but something forged in loss and pain. This is hear her voice before I see her. A shattered prayer, a trembling name. Mother kneeling on charred boards, her body small against the flame. I wanna run, I wanna scream. The ropes cut deep into my ribs. The world has narrowed to this one moment where horror tastes like iron on my lips. The wind bends flames around her hair. Smoke curls like a serpent's stare. The crowd watches, eyes of stone, and I stand frozen yet alone. Mother, in the fire I see you burn. Ashes rising for a world that won't return. Every scream they stole from you, I feel in me. It splits me in two. I cannot save you, I cannot fight. All I have is this witness to your night. And beneath the terror, beneath the pain, I swear their cruelty won't remain. Her hands stretch upward, reaching for me. I strain against the ropes and fail. The heat licks my face, it bites my skin, but I am powerless to wail. She looks at me, her eyes wide, tears streak through soot and flame. Forgive me, she whispers through the smoke, but the words are not for me, they are blame. A guard shoves her forward and the fire climbs with cruel grace. Her cries pierce the morning air, her warmth disappears from this place. I hear the crackle of wood and bone, see her form consumed alone, and yet inside, beneath despair, something hardens in the freezing air. Mother, in the fire I see you burn. Ashes rising for a world that won't return. Every scream they stole from you, I feel in me. It splits me in two. I can't save you, I cannot fight. All I have is this witness to your night. And beneath the terror, beneath the pain, I swear their cruelty won't remain. I feel the hunger now, not of blood, not yet, but a hollow rising where love once lived. A void that demands justice, not regret. Every spark that stole you away becomes a fire I'll light one day. I will not kneel, I will not cry. I will rise from your ashes and defy. Splits me in two. You gave me pain, you gave me loss. I'll carry it deep, I'll bear the cost. And one day Ravenhurst will learn that fire begets fire, and I will return. fell like a curtain of stone, cold and absolute. I sat on the dungeon floor, chains biting my wrists, my mother's scream still echoing in my bones. The air smelled of smoke and death, of charred wood and hopelessness. I tried to remember warmth, my father's laugh, my brother's grin, my mother's hand in mine. But it was buried under ash, under rope, under darkness. I counted the drips from the ceiling, each one a second I would never reclaim. Time did not pass, it waited for me, measured in fear and hunger, in the absence of everything I love. Should have been where warmth should have lived. I was a body waiting to be touched, to be broken, to be remade. Then he came silent as shadow, soft as smoke, a presence that did not belong in the dungeon's decay. Eyes like darkness made solid, hands that moved with impossible patience. You should not be here, he said in a voice smooth, almost kind. But I knew kindness is rare in Ravenhurst. He stepped closer, lantern casting long fingers of light, and I understood he was not human. Something ancient lingered in the way he moved, in the calm precision of his gestures. They intend to kill you at dawn, he whispered. I only nodded, no tears came. What do you want? I asked. He studied me without haste. Nothing you are not already willing to give, he said. The chains fell with a soft clink. I unrolled across the stone. Freedom felt like fire against my skin. He held my jaw, tilted my face upward. I offer mercy, he murmured. A way out. I should have feared him, I should have screamed, but I did not. All I felt was the cold, the emptiness, the echo of everything I had lost, and the thought, I cannot go back to what I was. Then do it, I whispered. Yes, he said, and when his teeth pierced my throat, it was fire and ice, a slow, terrible filling of my veins, an agony that burned deeper than grief, and a warmth that I had not known since my mother's scream. Did not die. Something ancient, dark and endless welcomed me in the shadows. My body convulsed, my senses tore open, and for the first time in months I felt alive in the way that mattered most. He woke again, not on stone, not in chains, but in a coffin buried beneath the soil of a ruined village. The moon was cold against the lid. I clawed, tore, rose through dirt and decay, and the air bit at my skin like a living thing. I touched no heartbeat, no warmth, only the hollow pull of hunger, a screaming, clawing, endless need. And for the first time I understood I was not Isabel anymore. I was something new, something terrible, and Ravenhurst would learn the cost of its cruelty.
Awakening.
The moon cut silver across the ruins, cold light spilling over broken stone. I rise from the grave, hands clawing through dirt, hair matted, dress torn, the air biting at my skin. Sharp as glass. Every sound is a symphony. The distant scurry of rats, the shallow breath of a fox in the hollow, the heartbeat of a lone traveler miles away, drumming in my veins louder than any drum. Hunger wakes beneath my ribs, not want, not need, not desire, but something primal, a scream inside me demanding release. I taste the air, metallic and alive. I hear the pulse of life, each rhythm distinct, each wisp of motion crystal clear. I bend instant into awareness, and the world sharpens, edges cut like knives, shadows twist like predators. I move, silent as fog, soft as ash, every step a predator's grace, every breath a measure of power. The city sleeps, or thinks it does, but I can hear it all. Every fear, every pulse, every trembling heart, and I'm awake, hunger blazing in my chest, teeth aching for more than survival. A lone figure in the forested edge, oblivious, fragile, unaware. Scent hits me first, warm, coppered, alive. I leap, every movement a dark ballet, feet barely touching ground, hands reaching, teeth bared in instinct, and I taste it, the first sharp, delicious terror. The world bends around me, leaves shimmer with a ghostly glow, shadows whisper secrets in the night, wind carries their scent straight to me. I drink, not just blood, power, life, the essence of what it means to exist. The thrill of predation, the rush of dominance floods me raw and endless. The addiction. I stagger back, sense a screaming, teeth wet, pulse racing, body afire. The hunger recedes slightly, but only to simmer. Always waiting, always calling. I realize something I cannot unlearn. I am stronger than I have ever been, faster than the night, sharper than the cold moon. I am predator and prey, master and child of the dark, embrace of power. I move, silent as fog, soft as ash, every step a predator's grave.
faith aching for more than survive. Faith aching for more than Moonlight silvers the ruins. Wind whispers through hollow windows. I taste the night itself, alive, sharp, and infinite. I remember grief, fire, ash, and chains. I remember the smell of my mother's hair, my father's hands, my brother's laughter. That Isabel is gone.